Some people can scroll social media for hours, but they still feel fine and they stay productive. For others, it's very different. For people who are more sensitive, reflective, more emotionally tuned in, they can have quite big impact of consuming content on social media. And you may not even realize it right away. You may just feel a bit more anxious, unmotivated, tired with no obvious reasons, maybe even a bit disconnected from yourself. And you don't see how it's connected to your phone that you just put down. But it is connected. I've done several social media detoxes in the last several years, and each of them was around 3 weeks long, and every time I did it I felt so much better. I was getting my energy back, I was feeling calmer, more clarity, I was getting back my motivation, I was connected more with my goals, and I was really start doing much more and in everyday things and towards my big dreams and goals. So in this video I want to share who really needs social media detox more than others, and 3 deep emotional and psychological reasons why scrolling social media can affect you more than others. Then I will tell you my story and my experience with social media detoxes, and I will share with you some tips that can help you to go through it and some mistakes that you can avoid. Now let's talk about 3 emotional and psychological reasons some people are more affected by social media than others and who really needs this social media detox. And the first reason is sensitive or dysregulated nervous system. Not every one of us has a chance to grow in a safe environment. A lot of us had to live with a lot of anxiety, stress, a lot of uncertainty, and we have all different circumstances. People who had too much stress and too much of anxious environment with no support and who stayed emotionally overwhelmed, they adapted to live a bit differently. Their nervous system didn't become stronger or more resilient. It learned to be more reactive. It gets overstimulated easily and it needs much more time to recover. And in this case, social media, with all this quick content, with visuals, with emotions, with everything that you get there, with all the dopamine hits, it works like a very big stressor, and without even realizing it, because you don't feel anything strong straight away, but you accumulate emotional and even physical exhaustion. Second one is empathic and emotional absorption. If you tend to feel or absorb other people's emotions and feelings, if you're sensitive maybe also to their energies, then there is a lot inside social media that can affect you. Because behind every post, every video, every comment, there are certain emotions or states, some desire, some pain, some projection. There is a lot behind everything you're consuming. And if you're the one who feels it and absorbs it, then it affects you deeply. You may feel drained afterwards without even realizing that this was the reason. And it's not about being too sensitive. People who are deeply attuned, they really need to find some ways to set some boundaries about the input they are getting from the external world. The third one is low self-worth or habit of comparison. This one is quite common, but not always very visible, because if you already have some self-worth wounds, maybe from childhood or from other life experience, maybe from a habit to constantly criticize yourself or have too much of pressure, expectation of how you should be, perform, and what you should achieve, then everything that you see in social media is a big trigger. People usually share what they want others to see, something they're proud of, something they're happy about, not in 100% cases, but that's the majority. When you look at it, it always works as a reminder that you're not there yet, that something is wrong with you, and you can go to this self-blame and self-pity, and you will be in a state that you will not want to do anything. And there is another way how you can do it. Sometimes it's very difficult for us to feel this self-worth wound, and we're going in a defense. We start judging others. When we're reading something or watching, we start finding their flaws, and like this we're trying to make ourselves feel better, but this is not working in terms of healing. You need time and space to connect with this maybe childhood wounds or maybe some habits that need to change, and only then you can feel better. But if you have this issue and you constantly look at other people's life and you constantly have some comparison, it works against you and you may need some social media detox to feel better. I'm a person with quite sensitive nervous system, and the reason is my childhood and everything that I had to go through. I never really felt very safe, and my nervous system learned to be always alert, and that's what I'm working on for years to try to feel better, and actually something is helping, but there is part of physiology that's not very easy to change, but something that's always possible to improve. I also had a very strong inner critic in the past, and also problems with my self-esteem, and I'm also an empathic person, and I feel others really strongly, others' emotions, others' energies. That's why I need quite a lot of time on my own or with someone that doesn't trigger anything strong or doesn't create maybe too strong emotions. So for me to try to do something like this was very important. When I started to do it, I even didn't realize all these deep reasons. This I understood later. I started it because I saw that I'm kind of wasting my time, and I was feeling that it was about 5 years ago, and there was certain things that I wanted to do, but I was procrastinated and I didn't have much energy. I decided not to use social media. For me, it was mainly Instagram at that point. I logged out from the app and also from everything else that I was using and was going through it. And I remember that 3 weeks later, I came back to Instagram and I even wrote a post about it. That's how I remember very well, because I read it lately. And I was writing there how much it affected me, how much better I feel, how much more productive I became, how energy came back, how I started doing things. And I wrote in this post that I will not quit social media. I still need it because I'm also publishing there. I'm also in contact with my friends and other people. But I said that I will use it consciously, less and differently. And I really believed it. But as you know, in the beginning we think that we can control it, but if you don't keep enough of self-awareness, old habits coming in, and until you realize the mechanism why you're really going there, you get again sucked into this and again in the same loops. That's why I did a few more times in recent years, and now I think I'm around 3 weeks in my other detox, which started as just social media detox, but then I made it even stronger. I made it as a dopamine detox, because sometimes we can remove social media but start using something else. Someone can start watching Netflix, someone can start binge watching YouTube, but actually I consider YouTube also as kind of social media, especially now when you have these shorts. It's almost the same. We can start constantly checking something on internet, reading Reddit. So I noticed that to have a stronger change, I decided to do something more extreme, and actually I made a video about my dopamine detox experience. If you're interested, you can check it. There I go into more details. But this one is about my experience with social media detox. And again, every time I'm doing it, I get back my energy, and I feel much calmer. Overthinking is less, worries are less. My journal, I'm doing journaling almost all the time. My journal becomes different because I'm getting more clarity and more focused on my big long-term goals, big dreams, on my most important values. I'm not just doing more, I'm really connecting more with a big vision, with how what I'm doing here and now, what I'm choosing here and now is affecting me long term. And this specific time, not only I start doing more, feeling better, I again start creating, I get again my inspiration and motivation, working on my website, working on my videos, also connecting more with other people, and I really feel much better. So as I noticed how it was for me, what were the difficulties, what were the benefits, I want to share with you how you can do it that will help you. The first is the main thing. If you're a bit of a perfectionist, as I am, it can be difficult because you want to remove everything straight away. For some people it works, and you can check what apps you need, I don't know, to delete, maybe to log out, or to set some time restrictions. If you want to do a detox, it's better, of course, to remove the use completely unless something really necessary for something. And the main thing is to be prepared to feel bad in the beginning, to feel some void, to feel maybe some boredom, and to experience some negative emotions, because we distracting ourselves a lot with all these things when we don't want to face or to deal with something. But if we give ourselves space, it will become better, because you can face certain problems that you have and you can do something about them. But for sure, and this is almost 100% guarantee, you will have much more energy. You will not waste your energy. You should really start feel calmer. You should feel more aware. You should have more peace and more clarity. And when you have this kind of state, then you can start focusing on what you really want. What is the most important things for you in your life? What are some wishes, desires that you maybe put aside for some times? What may be something that you want to change in yourself, in your habits? And in this case, what is helping to go through this is, of course, journaling, meditation, or some mindfulness, or practicing presence, being just with yourself. This is very helpful. Also try to find, that's because another trap is when you switch social media with something else, when you switch it with Netflix or reading Reddit for hours, or these kind of things, because this will still have these dopamine hits on your nervous system, and you may not feel so much more of improvement. Still, sometimes even just removing social media is already enough to feel better. And learn what else you can do. Maybe reading some books, going for a walk, maybe doing some exercises, maybe you have some hobbies, some activities. Look what is your thing that you can do instead, and when you feel really bored but you have an energy to do something, maybe you should make a list of what kind of things you can do. But the one skill that can be really helpful here is to learn to sit with uncomfortable emotions. It's not always easy for everyone, but mainly what usually stands between us and really going into these difficult emotions and unprocessed feelings is a fear, and fear that it will be too much, will not handle it, or some resistance to feel something uncomfortable. If you create certain motivation that if I will go through it, first, I can handle it, it's just a feeling, and second, I will feel better then. I will move forward, I will stop being stuck here. It will be very helpful for you. And if you need more help on this journey, I have some content that can be helpful. For example, if you notice that you have self-esteem issues, I have a playlist about self-love. There are videos about self-acceptance, self-love, fear of judgment, and inner critic. And if you want to know how to process negative emotions, I also have videos about it. I will also link them. And the other thing that's important here is knowing that you always have a power to change your state in your life, and this is power is our attention or our focus, how we use it, where we decide to put it every kind of minute or second of our life. And I also made a whole video about it, how to get back this power, how to start controlling your focus and your attention, and how much it can change in your life. Such a simple thing. And if you have any question, you can always leave me a comment, and you can subscribe to my channel if you want to continue receiving useful content that can help you to go through self-development or inner transformation journey.